Hello YouTube, I'm Natanis Talks. It is Tuesday, March 26th, and I'm leaving work, so it's time for our chat. I don't really have a subject again for the umpteenth time. I mean, I've got some things I want to talk about, but I don't really have a focus, so this may be a little bit of a ranty one. I can't... Bright light behind me, I can't see. Okay, yes, there is a car there. Let's go. So, work-wise, I don't know what these people are doing. So, for the last... where are we at now? We're at 8 months now. For the last 8 months, certain things have run certain ways, and there's been no issue. Well, a couple weeks ago, they had a new issue that we've been aware of, and it's not a huge issue. It's just something that messes with measurements, which is fine. We already knew about that, but today they pulled out some new ridiculous reason as to why that's off. And I'm sitting there looking at the guy explaining it to me, and I'm like, you really expect me to believe that? So just out of nowhere, this is a problem, and we haven't worried about it for 8 months? The 8 months that I've been here, we've not worried about this, and all of a sudden it's a big deal? Like, where the heck is this coming from? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm really getting tired of this place. There's a lot of BS going on, a lot of shenanigans that doesn't make any sense. Like, definitely help me out here and subscribe. Like, get me out of this. I need you guys to blow my channel up so I can get out of this and get back to making content. This is insanity. Yeah. That's not the main thing that I wanted to talk about. The main thing I wanted to talk about is I had an idea for a new animation for our channel. Good grief. Traffic is backed up. Well, this is fun. I know there's a cop over there too. I'm not too worried about it, but this right here is not my fault. I'm just stuck in traffic. Anyway, so I had a new idea for an animation for any future content that I may try to make. It probably would take me a long time to actually make the animation. I've got the software to do it, and that's the software that I keep mentioning that I have. I've got this new fancy animation software, and I'm not an animator. I'm not. I don't know the first thing about doing animations. I know we have at least 3 animations on the channel that I made myself. One of which was just like a one done thing, and it took me an entire day to make. That is what it is. I'm not... like here's the concept for the new animation. Okay, so I've made the one sequence where we've got the Diligent flying through. I don't like wormholes, but we're just going to call it a wormhole. That makes the biggest amount of sense. I don't like the concept of wormholes. I think it's dumb. But that's effectively what we've got going on. But anyway, so I've got the one animation of that. I kind of, or not animation, but I've got the thing that I made that I spliced together of 2 videos in Minecraft. I've got that. What I want to do is kind of redo that, but in an animation form, and kind of show that the Diligent is currently not being piloted, and show that Natanis is basically in the Hermatrix. I need to come up with a new name. I keep saying that I need to get away from anything Hermitcraft, and I try to avoid talking about, but here we are mentioning it again. And then I did the whole potato thing the other day. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Just showing the ship again from a different angle, maybe a couple different angles, flying through. On the sheet that I was doodling, I have it written as flying through space. No, he's flying through the rift or the tunnel or whatever you want to call it. And as of right now, I am. It's very hard for me to want to say I am. My character is effectively lost in another dimension, or other dimensions, or in between dimensions. I'm not really sure how to put that, because I don't think there is an in between, and I honestly don't think there are alternate dimensions, but we're not going to get into that in this video. We'll do a more science dive into that kind of thing some other time. But the other main problem I have, besides not actually being an animator, is actually the art skill. I simply don't have the art skill for doing space and a spaceship. Ships are not something in my wheelhouse. I've never drawn a spaceship in my entire life. Well, that's not entirely true, because the storyboard I was doing last night, I drew a spaceship. So that's not entirely true. And I don't know if you can hear the rain coming through again. I don't think it's going to be that bad this time around, but it is supposed to be thunderstorming. And so far, I haven't seen any storming. It's just rain. The other day it was raining really hard when I was trying to record. So I was having to shout over the rain. Right now I am a little bit, but not as badly as I was the other day. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this idea of another animation. And I was thinking that I could use this in conjunction with just time lapses, so that I'm posting something Minecraft. The only problem I have with that is trying to do that is really going to eat up any of the time I have to stream. It's kind of this danged if I do, danged if I don't kind of situation where I've got so little time off that I can work on videos. I would rather stream for that time than all the little nuances that go into making something really short. I really don't feel like the short videos amount to anything. I think the potato video, last I looked, was up to 31 views. So yeah, it only took me like an hour to do that particular video. But that video is like 40 seconds. Like anything else I do, including the animation, that's probably not going to be something I do in an hour. That's going to be at least a month of all of my free time being focused on that. And yeah, just with the current work schedule that I have to deal with, I don't feel like doing that. I'd rather stream, get in there, even though it's silent, and like play something, like get into my creative world and come up with some more builds, or get into Helldive. Ow. And I don't have anything to drink today. I didn't think that through. That really just hurt. Anyway, like get into Helldivers. We've been doing that. The game has actually been behaving, so I'm kind of surprised by that. We were actually able to play for a while. And then I was also doing 7 Days to Die, which I don't mind. And for whatever reason, the new Horde base that I just kind of started using is actually working pretty well. I'm surprised at how well it's working. Pretty much all it is I found a kind of a shooting ground, like a target range. I don't really know what to call those. It's kind of like an obstacle course, but instead of being obstacles, it's like a training course for targets. Because there's targets all over the place, and dummies. Which until recently, I didn't know dummies were in the game. But yeah, finding that place and then picking a particular spot to try and deal with the Horde has been working out amazingly well. Even the spot that I have where I'm fighting off the hordes it's working out better than I would have expected. A lot better than I would have expected. In the past, my first Horde bases were pretty well destroyed fairly quickly. And then after that, the likelihood of surviving each Horde is increasingly less likely. This, for whatever reason, this time around, I have had no problem. First Horde night, we survived, no issue. Second Horde night, no issue again. So that's been interesting. And I definitely want to keep that kind of trend going. This is one of those times where I really wish I had something to drink. I got this nasty ice here that I could probably... melted ice. It's from my lunch. I don't feel like it, but I could probably use that to wet my throat. But yeah, back to what we were talking about with the whole streaming. I'd much rather do that. That way I've at least got something concrete that I can upload on the few days that I can. Because right now, like the 12-hour shift thing is such BS. I don't care for it. I hate it. But it's what we have to deal with right now. Unlike the previous job I had, which was just 8 hours, I had time after shift to actually work on things. At this job, I don't, and then that negatively affects what I can do on my days off. And that's partly because we're on night shift. So we've already done the spill a couple of times before, so let's just end it there. What else? So I was thinking about what can I add to my city that I am working on. Obviously, if you've seen my one video where we're in creative working on not really a build, we're working on measurements for a build. That's the real thing I was working on. So I was just making up some BS to kind of get the idea across of, okay, this is what I want. Let's see how big this is gonna be. And I gotta say, I was not surprised by how massive what I want to do is gonna end up being. It's gonna be a lot bigger than I was initially planning on. It's just I came across something I liked. I thought I'd give it a try and see what happens, and I really did like what I saw. So we're definitely going to do something like that in the future. And I think the first time lapse that I may try and release in the middle of whatever kind of video format I end up going with, I want to measure out the area and kind of define where the roads and where these sidewalks are going to be. That's going to take some doing. And that's going to take some time. I'm going to have to I need to get on there at some point and see just how much granite I have, because it may be a while before I do that video, because I may have to go and get a whole lot more granite. A whole lot more. I'm not really sure thinking about it, I can craft granite. There might be an infinite glitch there where I can get all the granite I need. And I don't mean like an actual exploit. I mean, this is part of the game. It's in there. So I may be able to get all the granite I need for that build. Other things like sandstone, Yeah, that's a little bit more of a problem. But there is another build idea that I've had that I've done a little bit of looking into. I haven't really finalized any kind of plans in my head yet, and that is I want to add a news building, like the Daily Planet or the Daily Bugle. I want to add something like that to my city. Having an iconic newspaper or news building would be amazing. But I don't want to do one of those buildings specifically. I want to try and come up with an idea for something that is actually kind of vibes with the steampunk style. So I need to work on like exactly what this is going to look like. I also need to work on the bank. We need to approach the bank a different way again. I'm still not sold on exactly what color palette I need to use for the bank. Because if I go with the more like white marble look, I feel like that gets too far away from steampunk and too far away from Victorian. So but the thing is, I didn't using the same color palette for the umpteenth time. It's just going to make the city feel very, very samey. Yeah, the shapes are different, but the color palette's always the same. I want to try and stay away from that. I'm not exactly sure how to stay away from that on this particular build. I mean, all of this is kind of learning as I go kind of deal. And, you know, speaking of me making a city for almost 3 years now, and I feel like I'm getting nowhere, mostly because of work. But I need to be free from that in order to really work on stuff. I need to be free from everything to work on it. Even when I was just focusing on making stuff for YouTube, I was being pulled away constantly. Like, I couldn't get a lot of work done on it or a lot of planning done on it, because anytime I would sit down to try and do that, there'd always be something that was pulling me away from it. In reality, the reality of the situation is that I probably could have been making 2 or 3 videos a week. However, because of other circumstances, I was constantly in this situation where I couldn't actually do it. Like, people were pulling me away. And then I had that entire month where I had to go and babysit my little brother. Now, it's for a good reason. And don't get me wrong, I'm not actually mad about having to do that. It's just, that's the kind of thing that was taking me away from being able to focus on doing this stuff. It's like everything out there right now is trying to keep me from doing this. Everything. It's like a duality. Like everything's trying to keep me away from it, and everything's trying to piss me off. So, yeah, there's a lot of effort that I could have been putting into it that I was basically being denied for one reason or another. Either it was somebody else that was taking away from me being able to do stuff, or is my own lack of motivation. Because seeing the numbers on my channel and on other people's channels was pretty much a motivation killer. Like, I'd spend a week on a video and I'd get 20, 30 views, and then I would see somebody else put out a video and they instantly had over 100,000 views. It was just kind of, it was frustrating, to put it simply. And I still to this day do not understand why some things get hit hard with views and why some things don't. I don't see any kind of correlation between videos getting lots of hits and videos not getting hits. Woo. I don't fully understand that. It may have been something about not getting in the algorithm, but I severely doubt I'm in the algorithm anyway. Then there's also the tags and everything, making sure you're using the most trendy tags for whatever it is you're doing. As much as I tried to look that up, it never seemed to matter. Not to mention, something most people probably don't know is the tag system has a limit. I've hit that limit several times with the Minecraft stuff. Several times have I hit the tag limit, and nothing really happens with that video. It just kind of fizzles. So yeah, that's a big motivation killer when you put all that effort into something and then you get nothing for it. Or what you do get is the exact opposite. I was getting a lot of hassle. Lot of hassle from the two assholes. And they were the biggest contributors to taking me away from stuff, and then wondering why I'm not succeeding, and then bitching about it. And they've proven to be giant hypocritical assholes here lately. Really big hypocritical assholes. Yeah, that's really all I got today. We're already at 30 minutes. So, if you guys like these little chatty videos, please leave me a like. If you got a comment towards anything I was saying, please go ahead and comment. And definitely subscribe. I could really use the help trying to get this channel going. Really, I'm hoping to hit 100 by at least the end of the year. I would love to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Frankly, I would love to hit 100 subscribers by the time I wake up later today. I don't think that's going to happen. So right now I've got a goal of hopefully getting 100 by the end of the year. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.